Hey! Today I'm gonna talk to you about something that exists only in Finland, which is the Neuvola system. It is basically a part of the health system that takes care of pregnant moms and the babies, but it doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. So, here we go. If you came across any news about childbirth or childcare in Finland, I'm sure the news contained the infamous baby box, which is a part of the Neuvola system, but it's not all, so there's a lot more to it. How it works is when you get pregnant, you get your first appointment with the Neuvola, and from then on, until your baby is 6 years old, you continue going to your Neuvola. And the Neuvola you go to is determined by where you live, and the nurse is also determined by that. So our nurse is basically taking care of the pregnant ladies and the children around the streets here. The Neuvola system was founded almost 100 years ago by Dr. Arvo Ylppä, and the objective behind it was, of course, to decrease child deaths. And it was so successful that almost 100 years later, it is still in practice. So, once you're pregnant, you go to your first appointment with the Neuvola, and your nurse determines the frequency of the following visits. And it's basically the same, that the visits get more frequent as your delivery date gets closer. The only difference is that normally, everywhere else in the world, you see a doctor each time. Whereas here, you see your nurse. And during your pregnancy of 9 months, you see your doctor probably just 2 times. Unless there's, of course, an emergency. But otherwise, you see your doctor 2 times and you get ultrasounds 2 times. So other than that, your nurse tells you, all is fine. As mentioned, you only get 2 ultrasounds. Again, unless there's an emergency, which means that once you figure out the gender, if you want to know, then you only get to see your baby once the baby is born. And after that, you continue going to your Neuvola. Initially, the nurse comes to your house once the baby is out of the hospital, and she goes through the stuff with you about what you need to do in order to take care of the baby and how your house is organized. Like for us, she suggested where we should change the diapers and stuff. And from then on, the frequency of the visits decrease over time until the baby turns 6 years, so the child turns 6 years of age. You get over 30 appointments as a total. So how it's organized is you have an online system where you can access all this information. You access it with your Finnish ID number and all your appointment dates, the lab results, the doctor comments are all in there. You also have these booklets. This was mine when I was pregnant, and this is my son's. So all the comments are written here as well. Like for my son, it says height, his weight, how he's doing, and for every page he gets a cute little sticker like this. Of course, I didn't get stickers, but you get to keep this with you at all times and in every appointment, and you also get charts for vaccines and everything. During the times, the 100 years that this has been in practice, of course things change. And like our nurse, the last time we went, mentioned that she's 50 years old and she still has her cards. And while she was growing up, it was suggested to start orange juice at 2 weeks for an infant. Whereas now we were offered to start solid foods at 4 months. So I'm sure that within like 10 years, things are gonna change again. The infamous baby box. Basically, it contains everything you're gonna need during the first year of your child's life. In order to be eligible for the box, you need to have at least 1 Neuvola appointment before you reach the 5th month of pregnancy, where the doctor gives you a document with which you can apply to the Social Security services with to be able to get the box. Actually, there are two options. One is getting the box, and the second is getting an amount of money, which during my pregnancy, if I remember correctly, it was like 170 euros. And the things in the box are definitely worth a lot more than that. So pretty much everyone opts for the box, and when you're walking around town, you get to see basically every child wearing the same things. And it is not based on your level of wealth, so even the poorest and the richest get the same box. It is all about equality and that the babies are born with equal rights on this earth, so everyone gets the same things. And as I said, it contains everything you might need until your child reaches 1, which means you get like onesies, pants, socks, gloves. Okay, let's take a break because my son is here. Where was I? The box. Other than the basic clothing for a whole year, it also has some really nice winter clothes, which is a definite essential for living in Finland in the winter. And it has toys, books, nail clippers, pads and creams and stuff for the mama as well, so everything is thought about. You can also use the box itself as an infant crib. It has a thick foam underneath, and also the box comes with some bed sheets and blankets which you can use. And the design of it changes every 6 months. So the one we got was, the outside design was special, that it had animals that don't live in Finland. And also the inside, the clothing designs are different every 6 months, along with the sizes. Another thing that's a little different about giving birth in Finland is what you pack for the hospital. During my pregnancy, I kept reading about what to pack for the hospital and what to include in your bag, the baby clothes, stuff for your own self, socks, slippers, onesies, whatever you can think of. And during one of my appointments, I asked my nurse, like, what should I bring to the hospital? And she was like, nothing. And she told me that they had like extra nightgowns and slippers and clothes for the baby, and I could change them twice, 3 times a day as often as I wanted to, so I didn't need anything. And since we didn't have too many cupboards in the rooms at the hospital, she suggested that we only bring one outfit for the baby on the day he's getting out of the hospital, and otherwise not to bring anything, which I thought was pretty insane. Initially, I was very skeptical about the whole system and not seeing a doctor every single time, but it seems like it has been working perfectly for almost 100 years, and it worked for me as well, so I guess they know what they're doing. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the Neuvola system of Finland, and if you have any questions, just drop me a line in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye!